video conference platform. Council President, can you call the meeting to order?
The meeting is, the regular council meeting of the East Cleveland City Council is called to order. The time is 6:38 p.m. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Stevenson,
Present.
Councilor Gowdy. Councilor Gowdy. Councilor Martin. Councilor Martin.
Present.
Councilor Smith.
Here now.
Present.
Councilor Austin.
Present.
We have remarks of the public on agenda items only.
I don't have an agenda because they won't give it to me.
He's about to bring it.
Oh, can you hold it 1 second? That's what I was waiting on, running off some agendas. We don't have any agendas in here. You can give us a couple of minutes. They're being run off now.
There he is.
How can the public comment on the agendas when we don't have agendas?
The agenda will be shared online with the clerk.
Well, we have the agendas now. Did you stay here?
But the thing is, she called for comments of the public on agenda items. We
Yeah.
have to be able to review the agenda first
Here.
before you can do that.
Okay, you got one?
No.
Okay, here. You moved again? No, we just moved it here.
I'm ready to respond.
You're limiting the public's right to speak when you don't give us the agendas ahead of time.
So in
Dr.
regards to the
Bohoviac,
agenda,
the
I'm sure
agendas,
we went over this before, but you can't post one agenda and then an hour before the meeting, change the agenda. I know we discussed that before and you've done it again. So I'm not sure what agenda you're now copying to pass out. One agenda was posted, another agenda is now seeming to be what we're operating from. So I'm not sure which agenda we're using because you can't use it if you didn't post it.
It wasn't on the website.
the website would not allow us to post the agenda timely yesterday. The agenda was posted, it's my understanding, in the glass box at the rear of the building.
You have to post a public meeting and post the agenda. So if you posted it and now we're operating off of a different agenda,
We
I'm
didn't,
just letting you know, that's all.
From what I
Then you would
understand,
have to approve the amendment.
It's your meeting. I don't know which
from
agenda
what
to
I
follow.
understand, we could not post the agenda yesterday on the website, and that's been an ongoing problem with the
Yeah, but these
website
two
trying to.
agendas are different. They're not the same agendas. This is the one that was passed out and I'm assuming posted yesterday. This one was sent via email about an hour ago. So
Well,
you couldn't have posted this yesterday. This is the one you had to post.
document that was sent an hour ago should not have been sent. And the document should have been pulled back.
Okay, there you go.
The agenda should be able to be sent out. It should be able to be sent out via email to everybody who's on the notification list.
Okay,
for
can
the,
we get back to our agenda? Because you all are kind of out of order now.
Sorry.
I am commenting on the public's comments on the agenda items.
But you said you couldn't comment on agenda items because you didn't have the agenda. And I'm telling you
I am
why you didn't
commenting
have the agenda because we couldn't put it up on the public posting.
Then you can send it out via email to everybody who's on the email list.
That's what I tried to tell you before, Dr. Bohoviac. We don't have an email list. The email list is in the process of being recreated. And I gave the clerks the initial email information today. so that they could start sending out information, and your email information was in that listing. Can we move on? Are
Point
there
of
any
order.
other remarks of the public?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, point of order before the remarks of the Republic, because I have an agenda in front of me, so I need to be clear. And on my agenda is looking at the legislation 3320 all the way to 4240. Is that the correct agenda I have in front of me? That's my question. Okay, it has the Zoom at the top, has the minutes for September 10th, 1st, 10, 22nd, October 1st, and October 6th, reports announcement of the mayor. And then 8 pieces of legislation. That's the agenda I have, but that's the agenda that everybody else has. 8 pieces of legislation. I'm trying to get clarification before we can move forward.
That should be correct. 8 pieces of legislation.
Okay. All right, I'm okay then.
That one has 11.
What, the one you have, Mayor?
I got it. I got it.
You got it? All right.
Are there
Excuse
any,
me, Council.
Yes, there's a public
Is
comment.
there any way that you can post this legislature on the screen somewhere, somehow, so we know exactly where we can go?
Can you put it on chat?
Right.
Victoria has to do that.
She can post the agenda as we go through it. Is that what you're gonna do, Victoria?
I'm gonna try to do that, yes.
Okay.
You could photograph it and put it on chat now.
I don't know that we have that ability.
Somebody must have an iPhone.
Dr.
That
Bahoviak.
that doesn't mean that we have the ability to do that right now at this time. Generally, what we do is we put the agenda on the screen.
Can't do that apparently. Madam President,
Yes.
Reverend Pinckney Bus is ready to make comments from remarks on the agenda.
Then she needs to speak now.
Okay.
Everybody else is speaking. This is public comment.
You gotta say all that, bitch.
I know that's right. I know. Good evening, everybody. I don't know who all's here.
I'm on the way.
Heather,
Okay.
Heather, turn your camera off.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Reverend Pamela
She
Pinckney Butts. And I'm a presidential candidate in this election this year for 2020, and I'm concerned about the conditions of the city. From what I'm seeing, you can laugh all you want to. I am a candidate. I've been a presidential candidate in this election since November of 2018, according to the Federal Elections Commission website. People have been going behind my back doing other things. One of my concerns for the resolution 3320, I see it's its first reading. I would like some more definition and clarity of the targeted racism that takes place. And one of the reasons I'm saying that is because the dialysis patients in this city and in predominantly Black communities or non-white communities are being denied, neglected, and healthcare. And that goes also to resolution number, resolution where you're addressing healthcare. Well, this is part of this. And on last week, I had to pick somebody up from the dialysis center because they were dropped off here in East Cleveland at the dialysis center at the Stuffy Tubbs Jones Center, where the dialysis patients were denied care. and they could not receive their services. And dialysis patients have to receive their treatment 3 days a week. And all these patients were left out here outside in this pandemic with no way home. And it does not happen in white communities. It does not happen in other areas. And I want to know, I know we talk about this, but I want to know what's really going to be done and how to address this. Okay,
Yeah.
that's number one. I'm glad you're observing Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but I want to know what you're really doing to address it. And in terms of the abatement and the nuisance, the lady who has the house down here with clutter that I've been calling and calling the health department and such, I'd like to know what's gonna be done about that. There's no way a human being lives in a house like that. And the mayor and all the other people, you all know about that house. It's so packed over there that it cannot have water in that house. And it's time out for playing. I don't care about you liking me or disliking me. It's time out to be dealing with some real issues around here. The other thing, I want to know where you're going to get this attorney from. Because legal aid doesn't represent people of color. Legal aid society doesn't help people who really need help. They don't help people who are victims of crises. They don't help people who are in I want to know where you're going to get the attorney from. So you're going to bring is this an excuse? I know when it comes to white people, it doesn't matter, but when it comes to people who are not, it does matter. And I want to know where the attorney gonna come from. And I'm gonna conclude with this one. I want to know what is really happening around here, because I've been calling and I've been making phone calls from here to Columbus about the transportation system through the city. And it is impacted by every single one of these agenda items. Because anytime we get bus shelters and things taken out of this city and people are sleeping and dumping garbage in these shelters in this city, then I want to know where the money really is going and coming from to address abatement and all these other health care issues. See, I know that land is being given away to certain people. And I know for a fact,
Reverend Butts, I think that's your time.
Equal opportunities under the law in this.
Reverend Butts, I think that's your time. Please close.
Any other remarks on public agenda items from the public?
We got Omaze next. Omaze is here. Go ahead.
Resolution 3820. I guess it's dealing with the
Extermination of 3 miles.
are we gonna, is that going to go into effect? Are you gonna pass that resolution tonight?
I can't understand what you're saying, Mr. Mays.
You got to take that off. Speak over here. Here. Put this over there near you. Maybe that'll catch it.
That
It
ain't
won't. This right
They
here.
can hear him now. He can hear him now.
Okay, they can hear you now.
Turn it around.
Okay.
I don't think they want to see you. Dude.
You know you need to.
Come on, Omaze, please.
Do we have a new council person sitting at the table with Councilman Martin?
He's not sitting at the table. He's standing up. If you're looking closely, go ahead, Omaze. Go ahead.
I'm speaking in reference to resolution 3820 in reference of the extermination, I guess, of the catching the vermins or whatever that's running loose in the city. And how is that going to go into effect, and who is going to be responsible, seeing that this is this ordinance is carried out? And secondly, in reference to the contractual, that's 39, I don't have my glasses, 3920. As
For an
to,
attorney, the one for an attorney?
yeah,
Okay.
the attorney for,
It's 3920, yeah.
I guess one in reference to whether the attorney has been, I guess the law director or and the assistant law director, whether they have a contract or are not on a contract. The law says, and I hope that it will be executed, the law says that the law director is a full-time law director, not a part-time nor a contractual law director. Is a full-time law director. And I'm not cognizant of the whom is responsible for the law director, the assistant law director administering an oath. And I think that would fall under the administration. And if there is an oath, has been articulated by the council that the oath was signed later or a year or so later. I'm not cognizant of that. But if there is an oath and it has been administered, I think that you should provide that to the council, whomever has the oath that she was sworn in, what have you. So I would appreciate you commenting on those particular issues when the time comes for that. And it was one other, I think we had spoken reference to the cars, which the mayor has opportunity to have a car, as well as the chief of police. And one I did leave out, the fire chief, as well as the K-9 unit. I think they reestablishing the K-9 unit. The K-9 unit does have a car, should have a car. And if he is called upon to come in to do a drug raid or whatever the case may be, have a car, but they only use those cars only on city business and not for their own personal business of that nature. And that same applies to the police chief, the mayor, as well as the fire and K-9 unit, only to be used city business only. And when they drive them home, they must use their own personal car. So I hope that they will follow that. And I think there's a law in reference to the mayor, because during my tenure on this council, there were people driving the cars and using them for their personal use, and we put a law in place.
Point of order, how long is the public supposed to speak during this part of the meeting? Keep the time and let's keep the meeting on track.
Excuse me, I know
we give you time. Go ahead and finish.
Your time is up, Mr. O'Meara. Okay.
It's my,
Wrap it up, please.
excuse me, I'll wrap it up, but let me be clear here.
Clerk, can you call the time?
I think that there's
Time is
clerk as
50.
well as the
Yeah.
president, and not to the council blurting out when I'm speaking, and I appreciate that. I'll give you the respect, so give me the respect, and the norms should be the clerk notify the person or either the president of the council notify you.
Look, can we move?
Can y'all stop being so disrespectful?
3 minutes, please. 3 minutes.
Stop being so disrespectful.
Okay, Madam President, we have another citizen, Justin Anderson.
Yeah, just the.
3 minutes, Mr. Anderson.
I'll make it 40 seconds. I'm sorry. Yeah, I wasn't going to get up, but when Mr. Smith started talking. But anyway, yeah, I want to talk about the cars, Resolution 4220. I wanted to talk about the bribe that Councilman Smith is receiving for having that car. That's a personal car that he uses. And as you know, the other car that he had, he tore it all up. The windows were busted out. It's dented all up. The driver door don't work. Some even say it was used to travel with. You know, I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to talk about this resolution here. And basically, to me, that's a bribe. Giving a council person a car so that they could do what you want when you want them to do it doesn't make any sense. That car has been driven across the city to Cleveland Heights, Euclid. It's been all over the place. And this is his personal vehicle. And my tax-paying dollars that I pay every year, my taxes, I didn't pay to have Ernest Smith driving a luxury vehicle. You know, and we already bought 2 vehicles for almost $100.
$100,000.
$100,000, and whether someone say 85 or whatever the case may be, it's still too much money for 2 vehicles. So I just want the great councilman of the people, Ernest Smith, to bring the car back, because our taxpaying dollars did not pay for him to ride in style and luxury.
Are there any other public remarks on agenda items?
Okay, point of order, Madam President, I just want to clarify something. I know we started the meeting getting some clarification on the agenda. Is it necessary for me to move on to Rule 9, or we don't have to do that now?
You need to do that because the agenda changed, the order of business of the agenda changed.
Well, I moved that we invoke Rule number 9 to change the order of business.
Second. And I'm present, Madam President.
Ms. Councilor Gowdy is being recognized as in attendance. There's a motion on the floor. The motion was seconded.
Yes, I'm second.
Can we call the roll?
You'll need to provide us with the agenda.
Dr. Bahoviak?
Yes, you still need to provide us with the agenda.
We don't have, clerk, can you put the agenda on the screen or not?
No, I can't put it on the screen. I can send it to you directly, Dr. Blahoviak. Would that be okay?
That would be fine, but you should learn how to put it on the screen.
It's not a matter of her, wait, hold up. It's not a matter of her learning how to put it on the screen. Sometimes things don't go the way they're planned to go. So these are new people. These are new clerks in our office. So the public and the staff has to have some consideration. Belinda, you should turn your phone off or your chat, whatever. We can hear you talking. So at that point, we are doing the best that we can at this time. We are in the middle of a pandemic. Everything is changing day to day. And so we're trying to do the best that we can. Like I stated earlier, you've been added to an email list, and we're going to make sure that the people on that list get the information.
Public meetings are a requirement of being a public entity. And every other Zoom meeting I go to, they put things on chat, they put things on share content. You need to learn how to do that. That needs to be done. That's essential.
Are you done?
I'll be done as soon as
There's a motion on the floor.
As soon as I get my agenda.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a discussion on the motion? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Information that I need to have to make sure that I'm okay or successful in this. I understand there's going to be a change to the agenda, and I would kind of like to know what the specific change to the agenda would be. What are the specific changes to the agenda?
Clerk, can you tell the council what the specific changes are?
Yeah, resolutions 35-20, 36-20, and 37-20 have been removed from the agenda.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any other discussion? Clerk, can you call the roll?
Counselor Stevenson,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
No, we changed it. This on me.
Okay.
You gotta pay attention.
We're calling the roll. Counselor Gowdy,
Wow.
Counselor Gowdy,
What did you remove? I really want to know what you removed, because before I even speak on anything, I need to know what you removed. And I think that I heard when she was saying it, but I'm thinking it's just one. No, I don't want that to be removed.
What?
Counselor Gowdy, the things that were removed did not have a motion to move to the agenda, nor did they have a group consensus to move them to the agenda.
Okay, I didn't get another vote because Council Martin was not here. Okay, all right, okay. I just needed to,
Silver.
yay.
We're, okay.
But she didn't call me.
Counselor, I am right now.
We're not finished.
Okay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Abstain.
Counselor Austin,
Abstain.
Don't nobody speak for me.
Who's trying to speak?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, somebody that said abstain. Okay, that's it.
It has been moved and passed that we invoke Rule 9 in order to change the order of business as read by the clerk.
We have minutes to be approved, regular council meeting for September 1st, 2020, agenda review meeting for September 10th, 2020, regular council meeting minutes for September 22nd, 2020, finance committee minutes for October 1st, 2020, agenda review meeting minutes, October 1st, 2020, and finance committee meeting for October 6th, 2020.
Madam Clerk, I can make a motion. I suggest you do each one at a time. I moved
Okay.
that we approve the minutes for the regular council meeting September 1st, 2020.
Yay, second.
Discussion.
Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
Thank you. Hope all is well with everyone. First of all, for the record, again, I would like to state that on September 1st, the minutes state that Councilman Smith recognized Councilwoman Gowdy. That was false. She never was recognized by the chair.
I don't think the minutes state that. I don't think that's what the minutes state.
That's what my minutes stated. The draft of my minutes stated. The first line said that Councilman Smith recognized Councilwoman Gowdy the floor. And if it didn't state that, I mean, that's the rules. That's what should have happened. And
for Rule 9, wasn't Rule 9 invoked at the beginning of that meeting?
Absolutely not.
And
Absolutely
wasn't
not.
Counselor Gowdy recognized to invoke
Absolutely
to
not.
bring Rule 9
Can
to
I have
the
my
floor?
time, please? Please, can I have my time, please?
Go
I
ahead.
didn't interrupt anyone, please. There was no Rule 9 evoked. Councilwoman Gowdy just jumped up and what's all that, Nate? And Gowdy, this is city business. Anyway, if you read down in the minutes, it says that 3 council members voted over the cell phone, over the phone. That's illegal.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Okay. Everyone knows that that is illegal. You cannot hang the phone up. I mean, you cannot get off the Zoom meeting and have a council meeting on the phone. That's a private meeting with just 3 council, and then is voting involved. That's illegal. All I ask, the fight is not about the president's seat. All I ask is that you all slow down, do it over for the integrity of the council, and do it correctly. That's it. The chair never recognized Councilwoman Gowdy, never. And if you could show me the video while y'all over there fist bumping, show the people the video. Where is the video? Where is the audio I can show you the draft of minutes that I received again. It says the first line says that Councilman Smith recognized Councilwoman Gowdy. It does not say anything about Rule 9 being evoked. And I mean, I understand you all doing whatever you all doing. I just ask that you do it correctly. Period. 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 The East Cleveland Charter, page 29, section 103B states all meetings of a public body of the city or council, whether regular or special meetings, shall be open to the public. Period. And by you all three, excuse me. No, you know what? Go ahead, show your character. By you all three doing a meeting on your cell phone. Nate, look into the camera, Councilman Martin. You told me yourself that you asked them to do it over. Do it over. I'm so glad that the great people of East Cleveland are on this meeting. All I'm asking you to do is revote, slow down, and do it correctly. Let's keep the integrity of the council going, period. Period. You cannot vote on a cell phone behind closed doors. That's illegal. Thank you.
Miss Gowdy,
Yes.
Mr. Smith, the process for changing minutes, the process is that you write.
It's not about the minutes. If you all think you're gonna bully me like this, you have another thing coming.
Ain't no, how are we bullying you?
All you have to do is do it. Excuse me.
How are we bullying you when you are
correctly
asking for a change to the minutes, Mr. Smith?
No.
You have
I'm
to submit that change. No,
Thank
that's
you.
we were talking about the subject is the minutes, Mr. Smith.
I'm asking for a thank you. I'm asking for a change of action.
You're asking for a change of action that's in the minutes that are written, and you need to submit it in writing.
It's in writing. I appreciate you.
I mean, we've been sitting here for a month now, 2 months, and we don't have any changes from you.
The minutes, the draft of the minutes, I just recently got those. The minutes were not put out soon as this action happened. The draft of the minutes just got put out. The reorganizing of the committees just got put out. All this just got put out. How many meetings have
it did not, Mr. Smith. It did not just get put out.
Have been canceled since the first period. Listen.
I heard the vote, and that's
Excuse me, Councilwoman Gowdy. I'm asking for a change of action. The people are asking for a change of action, period. Councilman Nate Martin, remember when you looked me in my eye and said that you told them to do it over because you know it wasn't done correctly? Then you cannot vote on the cell phone, period. And I did not, listen, Councilwoman Gowdy at that day did not give me any time to recognize her. I have no problem recognizing her and you all reorganizing the presidency. If that's what you all want to do, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. You must make a motion out loud in public for the people to hear it. How you think you gonna get on your cell phone and make a motion to vote?
The motion,
anything?
Mr. Smith, that's your
you
time.
Think I'm going for that?
Mr. Smith,
people in East Cleveland going for that?
Mr. Smith, that's not what happened. That is not what happened. So
that's exactly what happened.
That is not what happened. That is not what happened.
Well, the
clerk, Mr. Smith. Well, where is the video? Bring it forward. We've been asking you to bring it forward. Where is it at?
I don't have it. Well, then,
where
how
is
did
it?
you write
We
the
don't
minutes
have
out?
it.
How did you write the
Mr.
minutes
Smith?
out? How did you write the minutes out, Madam President?
Because I took notes during the meeting, Mr. Smith,
so
and my notes will stand up in court. I don't have the video. We never received the video.
You wrote minutes off of your notes.
Yes.
This is a coup d'etat. This is a dictatorship. This is a takeover.
Mr. Smith. I'm allowed to write notes.
You sound ridiculous. You sent official minutes off of your notes.
No, Mr. Smith, that is not official. The minutes are in draft form, like they always Are you gonna let me talk? Are you
Madam
just gonna
President,
disrupt the
point of
meeting?
order. Madam President, point of order.
Clerk, can you mute these people or what? Because he's not gonna listen. The situation with the minutes are, and I wrote this to you all last week and told you what happened. We were online in a Zoom meeting. When the initial motion was made, there was a disturbance. People left the meeting. People were not in the meeting. And when the vice presidency was announced by whoever made the motion, that's when the Zoom went out. When the Zoom went out, I couldn't get back in. So I called the clerk's office to see if the people in the clerk's office were in or out. They were all out. We continued the meeting on the telephone, which is allowed according to Robert's Rules of Order, because the meeting was already in process.
We've
Not called each other up and have a meeting on the phone. That is not what happened.
And she confirmed.
And then once the clerk saw that the meeting was still in process, she brought the Zoom meeting back onto the computer. At that time, we continued the meeting and went through the items on the agenda.
And she was on the phone the whole time.
Madam President, can I ask a question?
Madam President.
This is Councilman Austin. My question is, if there was a opportunity to meet via cell phone, I'm on the council and somebody could have gave me a call and I would have.
This was not a situation where anybody was called, Mr. Austin. I called the council office to see if the people in the council office were still
online,
either on Zoom, online, or what was going on. And that's when I learned that everybody was kicked off.
And Dr. Guy was.
We didn't
Can I have one more second?
We did
Can I
not
have one more
call
second?
anybody. We
Can I have
did
one more
not
second,
call
please?
anybody to invite them to a meeting. That
one
did
second?
not happen.
Can I have 1 second?
Yes.
Because the way my cell phone works is it doesn't automatically identify an individual. No individual can just call me specifically unless I open that door. So as respectfully, the person that was on the three-way call that left out the other 17,000 residents and it's with the specific purpose of having a change to the constitution of this council. And I'm okay.
That's not correct, Mr. Austin.
It is, because I know for a fact that the three phones didn't call themselves. Somebody called
There was
somebody.
no three phones, Mr. Austin. I called the
You said
council
three people was on-
office.
You said
That's
three people
what-
was on the phone and y'all voted via phone. And I just want to know why my vote was,
You were, Mr. Austin, were you on Zoom?
I was on Zoom.
Okay, so when the
I got
Zoom
my
went
time like
out,
everybody else.
when the Zoom went out, you went
The
out
minute
with
said-
everybody else.
The minute said somebody had a conversation on a cell phone, because when y'all came back to the table, all the committees were already selected. All the information that you provided like a month after the fact was already established. And there's no way that brief second where y'all did not have a meeting, where you come back with all the committees designed, like laid out, like you did.
Mr. Austin, Mr.
And
Austin.
without, I'm just asking. I'm a really
But
simple person.
you're not asking anything. You're making statements that are
no,
not.
She recorded the votes.
I'm asking you, why didn't I get called if that was a public meeting?
Because
And
we
why didn't the
did
other
not
17,000
call
residents
anybody.
have the same opportunity that you had?
If we didn't call anybody, nobody got on the phone and
Somebody
called one
called
another
somebody,
to the
get all
other
three on the
person.
phone at the
That
same
is
time.
not, that's not what happened, Mr. Austin.
Somebody called somebody.
If you
minutes
had
wrong
went
again,
back onto if you had tried to get back in Zoom, you would have found out that the meeting was back on Zoom.
And I came back on and I provided my input at that time. However, my
Okay, but we did not call,
Madam
it was
President, so you
not
can
us
receive new
calling a
information.
whole bunch of people. That didn't
I
happen.
know you didn't call a whole bunch of people. You called somebody specific. So let me finish my thought and you can tell me if I'm off base or not. There was a meeting that took place. It was very contentious, is an understatement. And through some of those deliberations is what I'm going to call it, there was a missed opportunity to allow the public an opportunity to.
Madam
Mr.
President,
Austin, the
There was-
clerk was in charge of that, not the counselors.
But when the counselors got together, there was an outcome. And what I would like to see is the minutes as to how that outcome was established.
You know,
And like I said, I don't have a dog in the fight. 'Cause I'm
Maybe
still doing my job and
someone,
serving the people.
maybe someone can appeal to the clerk to return the minutes to the council. We don't have them.
Because
Minutes, she ran
the
up.
minutes on September 1st said that there was a vote over the phone, over the cellular phone. And I don't know if
Those
that's-
minutes are the minutes that I wrote
Madam
with my
President,
freehand on the back
Madam
of paper.
Madam President, call the order of the day. We're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, because she
with
already
this.
emailed.
Yeah, because y'all don't want to, and I'm okay with it. That's all I got to say about it. No more talking for me. Thank you.
Well, it's all you have to say, but you have a misunderstanding. Had you got back on Zoom, you would have been, or you did get back on Zoom.
I
If you
did,
admit
so
it.
that's why I know what happened while the meeting was going on Zoom.
Then
I
what
know
is
about
your,
that.
Mr. Austin, if you got back on Zoom, you know very well that the Zoom went out and that the meeting, that I called the council's office and the clerk put the meeting back on Zoom after I called the council's office. So it was never a meeting that took place on Zoom. And even if a meeting, on the telephone, and even if a meeting did take place on the telephone, Robert's Rules of Orders says that a meeting on an electronic device is acceptable.
However, the only thing that you're missing out on, Madam President, is
however.
that I'm on this council too. And my vote
Nobody blocked you. Nobody shunned you. When it went out, Mr. Austin, it was out. I didn't have control of the Zoom.
the
And neither
minutes
did
say that
any
y'all
other
had a cell
council.
phone discussion. If y'all had a cell phone discussion, I needed to be a part of that discussion, and or some minutes need to be produced from that. Whether it's
Mr.
5 minutes,
Austin, in
2
order
minutes,
to
3
be
minutes,
part of
that's
that,
the
you would have
discussion I'm
had to
talking
been in the
about.
council's office.
So y'all called each other from the council office while y'all all three was in the office?
No, we did not, Mr. Austin. You're not listening.
I'm listening very well. Trust me.
Okay,
But I'm
clerk,
done talking about it. Thank you, Madam President. I do appreciate it.
I'm
willing to
done
move on.
talking about it too.
I know.
Are we moving on with a vote for the minutes?
They walked away.
Yes,
That's why they was on Zoom.
The motion, Madam President, on September 1st, 2020 was created just about 20 minutes of dialogue. So let's move on. Either we're gonna vote it up or vote it down.
Clerk,
Is there a second for the motion?
the motion was moved and seconded. It's been through discussion.
Okay. Counselor Stevenson,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Smith. I'm sorry, Counselor Smith.
My apologies, nay.
Okay, and Counselor Austin.
Until they're corrected, that's a nay for me. Nay.
Madam Clerk, state for the record whether they passed or not, please.
Regular council meeting minutes for September 1st has passed.
Thank you.
I move that the agenda review meeting for September 10th, 2020 be approved.
Second.
I second it.
Is there any discussion?
Call the roll, please.
Counselor Stevenson,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Austin,
Abstain.
and Counselor Smith.
Nay.
Agenda review meeting minutes for September 10th has passed.
Madam President, I move that the regular council meeting minutes for September 22nd, 2020 be approved. Let's need a second.
I second it.
Okay,
Any discussion?
no.
Counselor Stevenson,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Austin, Counselor Austin,
Abstain.
and Counselor Smith.
Nay.
Regular council meeting minutes for September 22nd has passed.
Madam President, I move that the Finance Committee meeting minutes for October 1st, 2020 be approved.
I second it.
Is there any discussion? Counselor Stevenson,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy, Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Austin,
Abstain.
and Counselor Smith.
Nay.
Finance Committee meeting minutes for October 1st has passed.
Madam President, I move that the agenda review meeting minutes for October 1st be approved.
I'm second.
Any discussion? Counselor Stevenson,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Austin,
Nay.
Counselor Smith.
Nay.
Agenda review meeting minutes for October 1st has passed.
Madam President, I move that the Finance Committee meeting minutes for October 6, 2020 be approved.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? Counselor Stevenson,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Austin,
Abstain.
and Counselor Smith.
Nay.
Finance Committee meeting for October 6th has passed. We have reports and announcements of the mayor.
Hello, council. Hello, public. I hope everyone is well. I will try to keep this as brief and concise as possible. I'd like to start off, before I get into my report, to reiterate something that was said earlier. And I would ask council to seriously think about maintaining the integrity of city council. Maintaining the integrity of city council. 2 points. One, as alluded to with the changing of the guard, if you so to speak. The second is the rules of conduct and allowing personal attacks to continue to happen. What it looks like, Council President, if nothing is done, it looks like you are endorsing this action of this bad actor or of bad actors in endorsing the nonsense. Okay, let me try to get through the agenda, my talking points. I'd like to start off with COVID-19 and our updates. As many of you are well aware, positive cases are up all around the county and the state, forcing the governor to reiterate his orders requiring face masks and social distancing, and lockstep of what the governor and the county exec have done here in the city. We're following suit. So I'd like to reiterate my order here. Please wear your mask. Please practice social distancing. City Hall will remain closed and down to limited use. We have hired Jan Pro to come in and clean the city building. We signed that contract. Employees have been given laptops so that they can work remotely when necessary. We have started the rental assistance for people impacted by COVID. That is through CHN. Cameron Caputi, who we've talked about at length, has assisted in the awarding of over $750,000 to local businesses with grants. City services are underway. Leaf pickup has started. Grass cutting is pretty much winding down. We're going into cold patch season. Many of you have seen the new signs, welcome to East Cleveland, and the no dumping signs, illustrating that we are confiscating, we will seek to confiscate your vehicle if you are caught dumping in the city of East Cleveland. I proudly want to announce our partnership between the city of East Cleveland and the Women in Transitions program, which will launch October 26th. Currently, we are recruiting single moms that are interested in furthering their education and or advancing in their technical skills. Please contact my office if you know of someone or if you yourself would like to get involved. The new traffic control devices are up. We are having some technical issues with a few of them, so the entire system has not gone live, but the poles are up. Resurfacing of Euclid Avenue and Superior Avenue have begun. So pardon us for the mess we're making as we were doing it, as we are rebuilding East Cleveland together. The CSU visioning plan, the final draft is done. Council will remember I invited you onto the meeting a couple weeks ago with our advisory group, which is led or seated, I should say, from the county rep of economic development, Mr. Ted Carter. Beautiful presentation by CSU. I look forward to giving you the visioning plan and having you critique it. The EC Parks plan is done. We have other new technological advancements to the cities for employees, for residents, businesses that will enhance the transparency and the ease of city services. Stuff is on the website. So you can look on the website and see things that we are doing, as well as get your permits, building and housing, look at your tickets, and that's great. We talked at length about bike ride and how it's been a great impact on the city as we've been able to address issues right there on the spot. We've added some new personnel, administrative assistant in the service department. We have a legal intern in the law department. And that's it. Unless there are any questions or concerns, finally, I do appreciate you removing the items off the agenda that you did. Thank you for that. Unless there's any questions or concerns, Council President, that concludes my report.
Am I on? I have a question, Mayor Brandon King. Thanks for all the good news. My question is about the Women in Transition program. Is that program connected with the special purpose grant, or is that a separate entity?
That is part of it.
That's part of this.
Yes.
I saw it on my email the other day, and I guess my other question related to is, thanks for moving forward. How are we getting the news out to single mothers that this is available? And after they do the training, the high probability of them getting jobs. That's the whole purpose of that $340,000 is to get single mothers good paying jobs. Where are we at with that, Mayor Brandon?
So fantastic, great question. I'd like to thank you and the rest of council for all the work that you've put in over the years in trying to get this grant off the books. It's been on the books since 1990. We're finally executing this grant. It has been well thought out, and there are jobs available at the end of the training, right? We need all hands on deck in getting the information out about this program to single mothers. So everyone here, please let everyone you know about this. We will be creating flyers, pamphlets, newsletters. It will go up on the city's website. So please help us spread the word as we are trying. We're really trying to build careers for residents of the city of East Cleveland. We want to get people into careers.
I want to thank you. And as soon as you get the flyers, please let me know. I'll walk down to get the flyers because I'm out in the community every day, like Travail Hart. So I need to get the flyers so I can get them out to people. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. No further questions. That concludes my report, Council President. Thank you.
We have receipts of communication and petitions. Reports from council committees. The next regular council meeting will be Tuesday, November 3rd at 6:30. The agenda review meeting will be Thursday, October 29th at 6:30. Contracts and property.
Point of order for a second, Miss Victoria. Did you say November 3rd?
Yes.
Okay, it has to be just, you may not know, but it has to be November 4th because November 3rd is election day.
It's election day, okay.
Yeah, so we usually do the day after. So just make a note
Okay.
that it be November 4th, not November 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Contracts and properties, next meeting, I have November 5th at 6:30. Health and safety meeting with Nathaniel Martinez.
On this, the
Uh-huh.
contract of property has sent a request for a video. I haven't got a response yet, but we need to go into executive section to discuss the matter of Larry McDonald again. We have.
Miss Gowdy, we can't hear you. I could not hear a word you said.
Okay. I'm over contracts and property, but I did have sent a request for a video. I haven't got a response yet. We need to go into executive session to discuss this matter of Larry McDonald again. We have problems with him throughout our city.
I don't think we should do that now. I think we need to get through. We didn't receive any information. I think we need to move through the agenda and then come back to that on the back end if we can.
Okay, thank you.
Clerk.
Next, we have health and safety chaired by Nathaniel Martin, counselor.
Yeah, I'm tentatively trying to have a meeting next Wednesday, not Tuesday, but Wednesday. It fits in my schedule. Also, I need to clarify who's actually on the Health and Safety Committee right now. According to what I've been reading, it's 2 new people, and I don't know if they're aware or not. That's Tim Austin and Ernest Smith. So I need to make sure if that's in effect or not, because I need to know. The other thing is, I will say this, for the last 3 months, we've been in contact with the police department and been meeting regularly for the gun buyback program. So that is the most important thing right now. And that's almost, we're there. Most of the people have council people have kicked in. All the key people in the city have been contacted to make a contribution. There was an article in the paper Sunday about the gun proliferation all around America. And the numbers are horrendous. So if we can get the guns off the street through this program, it can save lives. It'll make our police officers safer and get guns out of people who are mostly disturbed or have mental issues. So that's the most important thing right now. So I'll let you know, Victoria, if I'm able to have a health and safety committee meeting once I'm absolutely sure who's on the health and safety committee. That concludes my report of health and safety. Thank you very much.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
You cannot meet on Wednesday. You can only meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays according to the charter.
No, the charter has nothing to do with when a council person can meet on Sunday or Saturday. I don't know where you're reading that at. I'll double check that.
That's what, Mr. Martin, that's what I was told, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
No, the council, that's not true. A council person, and I say this with humility, the chair can pick any time within reason to have a meeting. I've had meetings on Saturdays. I've had meetings on Sundays over the years. This is what I know. So we could work this out, but I'm not it's at my convenience and convenience of the people on the committee.
We'll check it out, Mr. Martin.
Corrine Stevenson.
Clerk.
Next, we have the Finance Committee.
The Finance Committee met on when did we meet? October 1st. And the Finance Committee is looking at what our options are for going forward with the upcoming budget hearings and budget information. Our next meeting is going to be on November 10th at 5:30 p.m.
Next, we have General Services. Tim Austin, Chair.
Greetings. The General Services meeting or General Services and Administration Committee will meet on the 22nd at 5:30 p.m. via Zoom. I guess the agenda will concern all of the areas in which the General Services Committee covers. And be prepared to help your neighbors get the leaves out of the catch basin and off the front lawn so they won't end up in the sewer to clog the sewers and cause problems later on. There is fall in the air, and there's some effort required by each of us to keep our city clean and prepare for the season that's to come. So keep our sewers clean, and the rest of the stuff will help us help ourselves take care of itself. So again, I'm looking forward to the revived General Services Committee and advising our residents what the General Services Administration Committee offers, as well as the Service Department, who's working so hard to keep our wheels turning in the city. So thank you very much, and looking forward to Thursday, 5:30 p.m. Zoom. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Personnel and Appointments. Councilor Smith, Chair.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. First of all, I just want to remind Madam Corinne Stevens that we had a special council meeting on the Saturday before. So as Councilman Martin so eloquently stated, that we can have a council meeting any day of the week. Personnel and Appointments, I look forward to serving the people with the Personnel and Appointments Committee, as stated before. I just recently, I guess I'm still getting updated on my committees, as I did not know I was honored to be on the Health and Safety Committee with our senior member, Nathaniel Martin. So, Madam Clerk, can you give the people the date and time of the next Personnel and Appointments Committee, and I will be there.
I have Tuesday, October 27th at 6:30 p.m.
Thank you. Tuesday, October 27th at 6:30 p.m. I look forward to hearing from the people right here on Zoom, Personnel and Appointments, although I do so in protest. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have proclamations. Are there any bids?
There's no proclamations, Madam Clerk?
No, there isn't.
Okay.
No bids? Hearing none.
It was the mayor proclamation that we was going over.
Ms. Gowdy, we can't hear you.
It was the mayor's. We had the mayor's one. The mayor's.
The
one
mayor's.
that, yeah, he the proclamation of the.
No, that's something different.
Okay.
That's something different.
Next, we have legislation. Resolution 33-20. It is a first read. Declaring racism as a public health crisis in the city of East Cleveland, Ohio. Further, establishing a work group to address the social ills that contribute to the vast iniquities in our community that cause health disparities among minorities and people of color by the East Cleveland City Council. African Americans and other minority groups who have less access to high quality medical care, cleaner environments, and healthy fresh food, and are dying at greater rates than others. Racism is a driver of health inequity, and this resolution therefore establishes a work group to remove racist barriers and promote racial equality in the city of East Cleveland, Ohio. This is sponsored by Corinne C. Stevenson, President, co-sponsored by Juanita Gowdy, Vice President, also co-sponsored by Councilors Nathaniel Martin, Tim Austin, and Ernest Smith.
Go ahead, clerk.
Is
Can I
there-
move the first read or?
This is a first read. These are all first reads.
Next, we have Resolution 34-20, first read. October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. As such, the City of East Cleveland recognizes the need to bring attention to this disease that has caused so many such great harm and remorse. The City of East Cleveland encourages all of its medical institutions to provide free screenings for breast cancer during this time of recognition, and will encourage partnerships that assist in making the citizens aware of the effects of breast cancer in our community in 2020 and beyond. This is sponsored by Corinne C. Stevenson, President, and co-sponsored by Juanita Gowdy, Vice President.
Added as a co-sponsor of this legislation, please.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Resolution 38-20 at first read, declaring a public nuisance in accordance with section 1313.02 A, B, C, D, E, 1313.09 B, 1313.10 A, B, and C, and authorizing the mayor to seek bids for presentation and approval by the council for extermination of the 3 miles of the city of East Cleveland, Ohio, to abate rodents beginning the last quarter of 2020 and continuing quarterly until December 30th, 2021. The extermination shall occur in all businesses and residential areas of the city of East Cleveland. And A, directing the mayor of the city of East Cleveland to take specific immediate necessary actions. This is requested by Corinne C. Stevenson, President, and sponsored by Juanita Gowdy, Vice President. Next, we have Resolution 39. I'm sorry.
Madam Clerk, I know this is the first read. Can you have the president give some clarification on how they're going to exterminate the 3 miles? What is the process or procedure of going about doing this? I'm just trying to figure out how can this be done? I know our city's about 3.1 miles. So, Madam President, what is the plan to exterminate 3 miles, and what is the plan to do that? That's my question.
I would refer you to the resolution, your hard copy of the document.
All right. You have
Can I
it.
ask a question too?
All I have here, maybe I get,
Resolution 3820 describes that the mayor is directed to prepare necessary materials in conjunction with the administration's Department of Development in the city of East Cleveland, Ohio, to seek bids for extermination of rodents for the city of East Cleveland, and that those specifications shall be approved upon completion by this council prior to the public announcement. The specifications shall include, at a minimum, but not be limited to, extermination of the entire 3 miles of the city costs, extermination of the residential areas only costs, extermination of the residential and business areas only costs, Extermination costs quarterly for 15 months. Extermination costs quarterly for 6 months.
I need to ask you also, Madam President, does the Cuyahoga County Board of Health, do they play a role in this? I think they deal with
No,
rodents.
they do not.
They
The
don't?
Cuyahoga County Board of Health is
Yeah.
a document which is going to come to the council. They want $97,000. They want us to pay $5.48 per household for them to come out and deliver pamphlets. We are overrun with rodents, and a pamphlet is not going to help us. We need an exterminator.
Okay, that's why I asked the question. So it's gonna cost money to do this. Where's the money coming from to do this?
Well, we have $97,000 that we pay to the health department every year. And that we've been paying to the health department. It started out at $68,000 for the past 10 years. We've been paying the Cuyahoga County Health Department, and this is the situation that we're in now. And so it seems to me that those funds need to be diverted towards the extermination process.
So are we gonna cancel our contract with the Cuyahoga County Board of Health?
I don't think that that's a situation. It's not about canceling a contract. All contracts have a date and time that they end. And if a contract is not, when you evaluate the contract and the services are not successful, you need to move on.
But they also, not defending the Cuyahoga County Board of Health because we don't have a health department here in East Cleveland, but they go in the stores and they do a lot of other things. So that's why I'm asking these questions because.
Well, when I look at what we received with regard to their contract, I didn't see that listed, but I will look again.
Okay, thank you very much. And I'll look too, because we need, they play another role than just helping us get rodents and all that other stuff.
They don't help us get rid of rodents.
Okay, well.
Can I make a comment about that also?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did see that we were trying to incorporate the businesses in there, and there is a requirement that each business in this city have certain standards, and they should be inspected more, and it's their owner responsibility to exterminate and make sure that pest, rodent, and disease control is maintained within their establishment. And I don't want to set a precedent where we start going beyond where, the scope is. It's already a law in place, and it's set by the health department. In these places where there are exceptional rats that are, going wild, those are the areas in which we need to have special attention to. And if it's my house, it's not, thank God. Then we need to take a look at my house. And there is a survey that you can pay $150 for, and they'll go through the energy survey and tell you every place you got a crack and crevice. And it'd be up to you to put a little bit of mortar in those cracks and to, address your windows. It's $150 and it's good for 10 years. So they'll go through your house and tell you every crack and crevice, but there's a cost associated with it. And I don't want to start picking up an exceptional cost at a point where we can't really afford to do the basic services in the city as it is. So we have to pick and choose which ones make the most sense. If there's an area that we need to concentrate on, let's find that area and concentrate on that. But as far as a blanket extermination, I don't see that as a necessity at this point. There's other emergencies that are, in my opinion, a little bit more critical, especially when we have the critter catcher out here already doing a great job catching raccoons, groundhogs, skunks. That's something we already pay for as a service. So let's make sure we identify a specific need in a specific location of the city, and not for a personal gain or a personal issue that somebody might be having at a store, a restaurant, or at their residence because of deterioration of, or lack of care, so to speak. So that's my point. Thank you very much.
Clerk.
Can I speak on something? Because we already hired somebody for the rodents.
Who? Wait, Miss Gowdy. I can't hear you.
Okay. I'm sorry again. We supposed to have somebody in place for the rodents. And what was his name?
There's nobody in place for any rodents. There's a place to exterminate for.
The one that died. And
I can't hear.
For the rodents. Because he already had different meetings, came to Even he even went to a Millionaire Road speaking about what he's going to catch base in homes. And
I don't have any information about anybody out here
and I
exterminating
really
for
want the
rodents.
mayor to actually respond to that, because this is necessary, because a lot of people is complaining, like you saying, and when they tear down these houses, the rodents just go into the next person's house, and we have a big problem out here today. And I seen something on my in my backyard, you know, and I was, you know, so stunned, and something do need to be done. Already hired somebody to do this job. Where he at, I don't know. We need a response from the mayor.
Is he there?
Is the mayor online? Mayor King?
Yes, Council President, I am here.
Have you hired someone to exterminate rodents in the city of East Cleveland?
So, Council President, here in the city of East Cleveland, we have had a 30-plus year growth of raccoons, groundhogs, and other varmints, if you will, rodents that have been growing and left unchecked for a significant amount of time. For the last 2 years, during the groundhog season, which is about 8 months out of the year, we have hired Lee Coleman, a local resident, to trap groundhogs. And with that, he has been catching other critters around that size and around that family. Every year, he does have stats as to what he's caught. And as alluded to earlier, he has been to a number of neighborhood group meetings, all of whom are very satisfied with his performance and his work. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I would encourage and ask that you come into my office. You come in, we sit down, talk about your concerns, what you're trying to accomplish, and move forward from that perspective. As you can hear from the concerns or the knowledge of the other counselors, there's a lot that goes into this. This legislation is too vague. Even with what you read, it is too vague and does not say enough of what it is you're trying to accomplish. If you would kindly come into my office, we can sit down, we can tell you what's going on, what is being done, and then what we can do to address your issues, right? I think Nate Martin, Councilman at large, is spot on. We don't want to move the county services for this. If you'll remember last year, there were a couple stores that were shut down by the county for having old food or having an infestation of rodents. So the county does serve a great purpose. We need to talk instead of just creating legislation. Council President, with all due respect, please, my door is open.
Mr. Mayor, as you sit there time after time and invite us to your office to have a conversation with you, at the same token, your law director is telling us that all meetings should be public meetings and that there should be no private meetings with the mayor.
So it's only a public meeting when you have 3 or more counselors together, and it's not an informational session. I was on council and we were very well schooled as to how and when you can meet. So
that's not what we're getting.
I've had 2 counselors in my office at a time to discuss various issues. In fact, Councilman Martin will be here tomorrow to discuss. I think Councilman Martin and Councilman Austin will be here tomorrow to address the Muhammad and his concerns from last council meeting. So we have his paperwork sitting on my desk and we're ready to address the property that he wanted. So they'll be in here for that tomorrow. So you can meet, you can't meet more than 3 people, discuss city businesses, and you certainly can't vote on anything unless it is a public meeting. And I hate to go back to what Councilman Smith said, but that wasn't a public meeting.
Mr. Mayor, I chair contracts and property, and I will not have you to go into a meeting with that without me knowing it. So if you haven't talked to me personally, because you've been avoiding me, but I really need you to talk to me because it's 5 councils that you have to answer to, not 1 or 2, or the ones that you should pick. I contract that. I chair that. And you need to talk to me about any contracts that's going to be made.
With all due respect, Council President and Council Vice President, I understand your concerns. Meeting is set for tomorrow. We have 2 councilors coming in, and we will deal with Mr. Mohammed and the property that he's seeking to get from the city. So thank you.
Excuse me, it's only going to be me and Martin coming, okay? Because I cheered that and I want to know what's going on. Thank you.
Clerk, can we move on?
Yeah, please. I don't want to start issues with you. So thank you.
We don't need to go back and forth no more.
Thank you.
Next, we have Resolution 39-20, a resolution authorizing the East Cleveland City Council to contract attorney services of an attorney licensed by the state of Ohio for the period November 1st, 2020 through November 28th, 2021, in accordance with Section 111.02E of the Charter of the City of East Cleveland, Ohio, that the council deems of a legal nature, and A, directing the mayor of the city of East Cleveland to take specific immediate necessary actions. This is sponsored. This is sponsored by Corinne C. Stevenson, President, and co-sponsored by Juanita Gowdy, Vice President.
Madam Clerk, I'd like to say something about this legislation. May I proceed?
Go ahead, Mr. Martin.
Okay, earlier during this meeting, we talked about Resolution 3520. We talked about Resolution 3620, and we talked about Resolution 3720. I was going to suggest that we put it in committee, but it was taken off the agenda. This is why a lot of this requires some legal advice, some legal guidance. And you know, I've been hollering about getting an attorney in here for the last 3 or 4 years. Not just one legal opinion that sometimes we get from the law director, but another legal opinion. And I think the intelligent thing for us to do when we deal with these 3 pieces of legislation, that we have another legal opinion to guide us. So I think that's important, that we get someone who knows municipal law and that can advise us in terms of what the Ohio Revised Code says and what our charter says. Thank you very much.
Clerk.
Next, we have Resolution 40-20. It is a first read, declaring a moratorium on all land sales in the city of East Cleveland, Ohio, until further notice, and delaying all in-process land sales, and substantiating that all previous land sales comply with Section 72 of the Charter of the City of East Cleveland, Ohio. And A, directing the mayor of the city of East Cleveland to take specific immediate necessary actions. Again, this is sponsored by Corinne C. Stevenson, President, and co-sponsored by Juanita Gowdy, Vice President.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Yeah, I see that there is a cliche forming, whereas, you know, the mayor specific and immediate actions. Can, at this point, can somebody tell me what those specific and or immediate actions are?
Please refer to your charter. Please refer to the resolution
No,
that you're
no,
requesting
no,
information
no.
about.
But it's been multiple resolutions and the charter has nothing to do with it.
That's right. That's right. There's multiple resolutions that say
say the
that
same
because
thing.
we are intent upon getting some things done.
Yeah, but I'm on this council too, and I'm asking what specific actions are we looking to get done? Because sometimes these things
You have to
happen in
look at the resolution.
I
Do you
did,
have
I
your
did,
package in front of you?
I do, and I want to know what the specific actions are that we're asking of the mayor, so I can either support or, just be aware of. So the information I have right here is pretty vague. It doesn't specify what we want the mayor to do in this.
Well, I think that it's pretty clear. It states here that we're delaying in process land sales, substantiating all previous land sales, and making sure that they comply with section 72 of the charter.
So we don't even know what
Now,
land.
if
what,
you wanted
no,
to say
let me- no,
something else,
no,
you
let me
can.
ask a question. Let me finish my question, if you will. So when you look at, say there is 10 transactions on the schedule, but it could be 1,000 transactions on the schedule.
That's right, that we have
can
not
ask a
seen.
specific question where you don't even know what the schedule look like. So
We don't know
have a list-
anything. We don't know based on, okay, you, Mr. Austin, received a 2018 audit last week sometime. And based on what that audit says, this council is responsible for the assets of this city. And this council has been negligent in its responsibility when it comes to the assets of this city. Well, not necessarily this council, but there's been some previous councils that have been negligent. We have audit findings from 2017 that this council did not address. We have those same audit findings again in 2020. I don't know what happened to the audit reports, Mr. Austin. So all I can tell you is from when I received an audit report and why this is here, it is because this council has a responsibility to oversee the assets of the city, and we've been negligent in our duty.
And let me share something else with you. There is a roll-up that is due for, based on the dollar figure of each item in the whole city. And that does not rest with the council to execute any inventory of that. So just so you're clear, so I don't want you to have a fancy saying or something that you believe is accurate when it's not. The council will not inventory anything. Once it hits the books, then
We're
that's
not
when you
saying,
count.
I'm not saying anything
I'm just
about
telling you what-
inventory.
No, I'm just telling you how you get accountability of assets. You said the council is
But
responsible.
I know about inventory, Mr. Austin. We don't have it. We don't have inventory. According to what my research has claimed is that the inventory document won't even be ready till the end of this month. So I understand, when I say assets, I'm not talking about your cars and your buildings. I'm talking about that's a part of it, but this specifies the land and what is going on with the land in the city. The council does not know.
That's right. And we need to know because of people not coming before council and they building up stuff, and we don't even know where they contracts from. They going into these houses, they tearing them down. We need a dialogue of where everything is at, so we will be on top of the things. So when they do come in front of council, we would know what we're talking about instead of thinking that we know what we're talking about and be surprised somebody already moved into the house, or if the house already been transferred in somebody else's name. We didn't even know nothing about it.
Well, there's an effort by the Building and Housing Department.
We need a
There's efforts.
You don't learn because you don't listen. Let me share something with you. There is a
That's not true, Mr. Austin. Mr. Austin, that's not true, because there's information that this council should be receiving that we do not receive.
And again, when I had contracts and property, I actually went to the Building and Housing Department and sat down with Solandra Wallace or Mel Rand Leach when necessary, so I can get the information I need in order to be successful. There is a visioning plan that has exceptional input to where our target areas are in the city. Do you know where the target areas are in the city right now?
Mr. Austin, we have not seen the
There's been
final
multiple
visioning plan,
briefings.
and you should be
Right. No,
aware
no,
that,
it's not the final plan.
right,
Just knowing where the target areas are, and there is some risk to releasing where exactly those target areas are. But I know because I went to the briefing and I go to the person that's actually moving the pieces and maintaining the order. So when the revisioning or the revitalization of the city is taking place, we all need to know where those things are taking place. But this particular piece of legislation does not get you to that place. There is
in your
multiple,
opinion.
right, and in my opinion, and the reason I'm saying that is because there's been multiple briefings. I even saw you in one of those briefings that would lead us to the place where we kind of need to be. And I don't know if I took a different perspective from one of those briefings that we went to, talking about where we're going and how we get there and how we use, the CDBG dollars. There's a lot of stuff that we've been getting information on, and now it's time to start connecting those dots so that we can kind of, be in lockstep with what is going on with the future of East Cleveland. So yeah, more to follow. And I think that there's a discussion that can be had if you did actually make it to the mayor's office, kind of let him tell you some of the things that he sees and
But
how we
why
can
do I
kind of
have to go to
better
the mayor's
support.
office to find this stuff out, Mr. Austin?
Because you're
I
not the
should not
mayor,
have to
and it's
go to the mayor's
his
office. This is
responsibility to do
public
some of these things
information,
right now.
Mr. Austin.
But if you don't go to the right
That's
source, you
not
won't have the right
public.
information, period. If you don't go to the right source, you won't have the right information. And I know where the source is. When
I
need to
should not
verify
have to
information,
go anywhere, Mr. Austin. I am the president of council. I have been the vice president of council, and I'm a counselor. The counselor should not have to go anywhere seeking out information. That is not our job.
That is funny. That is the only job that we have, to seek out information so we can make an
That
informed
is
decision.
not our
as
job
where
to
we
go.
need be.
That is Mr. Austin, the mayor's in charge of day to day. Okay.
That's right. It's 5 committees.
If there's, and just last week, we were in CDBG. We had training from CDBG. So,
And that's outside
Come
of
on
still
now.
your responsibility as a city council person. Because we have a person we pay to manage the community development block grant dollars. They are trained, they have the correct authorization to access the system. They understand how the money is hit, how it's drawn down, how it's maintained, and what it takes to keep out of jail. So if you want to
Mr.
keep on,
Austin, this is
there's
what
things that you
our
are
training
responsible
was
for.
on.
I got you. So I understand for information's sake. However, there is potential to step out of bounds, because if you play too close to the line, that's what's going to happen. But nevertheless, that's enough about that. But we cannot fail the residents that sent us here because we have pride issues. We have to go to the place where the information is, and that's what I do. And I'll put myself last. So go to the place where the information is. That's all I'm saying. Thank you. That's all I have, Madam President.
Mr. Austin, we spent last week, me, Councilor Gowdy, and Councilor Martin in training for 90 minutes with CDBG. And I'm sure that won't be our first episode or our last episode. Clerk, can we move on?
Him that, I'm willing to let him do his JOB. That's it. I went to the CDBG training at the Salvation Army last year. I think you were there too, right? You remember that guy that came and talked to us about CDBG?
No,
How important it is, left and right limit?
No,
Okay.
I was not there, Mr. Austin.
Okay. All right. Well, I was in a place where I should have been, and I did, listen to the brief, and I got a good understanding. That's all. Thank you.
Can we move on?
Yes.
Okay. Next, we have Resolution 41-20. It is a first read. A resolution enforcing Ordinance 15-09 of the Building Code of the City of East Cleveland, which requires the collection of registration fees, maintenance payment of fees, and to hold owners of vacant houses and buildings accountable who fail to keep them well kept and maintained. And A, directing the mayor of the City of East Cleveland to take specific, immediate, necessary actions. This is sponsored by Corinne C. Stevenson, President, co-sponsored by Juanita Gowdy, Vice President.
I would like to speak on this.
Go ahead, Ms. Gowdy.
I would like to speak on this because we have lost a lot of money for landlords just banning their houses abandon their buildings and just walk away from it like it's nothing. And then we have to come and get a demo. But I feel like we should have been further to hold them accountable from walking away from those houses without giving us any money. I mean, and then when they leave out with boards on the house. And I have traveled through this city back and forth and around this city many a times. Even if you go to Maple Heights and stuff, at least they have curtains up and they don't have boards up and tell you that we can come in here because the boards is up. Those are signs that say nobody live here. So when you walk away from a house and don't care about your property, then you need to be, and everybody should be held accountable, even down to the mayor. He even got a house up the hill that's been vacant for a long time and have not entered into that house. So if the mayor don't do what he's supposed to do, how do you expect the residents and the people that own to do what they supposed to do? And a lot of people is upset.
Can we move on, clerk? Are you done, Ms. Gowdy?
This is something we need money.
Next, we have Resolution 42-20. It's a first read. Securing the return of a city vehicle in accordance with Section 127.08 of the Charter of the City of East Cleveland, Ohio, and vacating appropriations in the council budget. This is sponsored by Juanita Gowdy, Vice President, and co-sponsored by Nathaniel Martin, Counselor.
We definitely, yes, it does. I co-sponsor this. We definitely need the cars back. Ernest Smith is not supposed to have a city car. We already explained to who's supposed to have this city car according to the charter. Ernest Smith needs to bring the city car back. It's not his car to take. These are taxpayer money. They work very hard. And if they know what he is actually doing to the city cars and tearing them up and bringing them back, you know, because he have tore up a lot of cars, the ones that we have, you know, and it's not even worthwhile riding in. You know, I even had an opportunity of trying to ride to visit for emergency to go and see one of my residents. And when I looked at the Wrangler car that he been driving in, it's not fit for me to even drive. And I had to ride in my own car. So Ernest Smith, please bring the city car back. Thank you.
Clerk.
Next, we have Resolution 43-20. This is a first read. A resolution herewith canceling Resolution 27-20 as a resolution approving modifications to the Fiscal Financial Recovery Plan, wherein a proclamation signed by the Mayor Brandon King of the City of East Cleveland was inserted into the Financial Fiscal Recovery Plan without knowledge, discussion, or agreement of the Council of East Cleveland, Ohio, and withdrawing any and all appropriation modifications attached to the proclamation signed by Mayor Brandon King, which alluded to legislation. And A, directing the mayor of the City of East Cleveland to take specific, immediate, necessary actions. We will also be reading the proclamation into the record.
Okay. Yeah, I'll wait for my comments after you read the proclamation.
Okay.
Okay, page 1, City of East Cleveland, Office of the Mayor, proclamation. Proclamation of civil emergency issued on June 1st, 2020, amended July 7th, 2020. Recitals. Number 1, a proclamation of civil emergency which, according to Governor Mike DeWine, began on March 9th, 2020, was declared in the City of East Cleveland because the citizens of the City of East Cleveland were experiencing a civil emergency due to the outbreak of COVID-19, as well as violence and unrest. Recital 2, the problems experienced as a result of these situations continue to endanger the health, safety, and welfare of persons and property within the city of East Cleveland and potentially hinder the execution of the ordinances of the city, the laws of the state of Ohio and of the United States. Number 3, recommencing at 5 p.m. March 9th, 2020, amended on July 7th, 2020, and continuing to 11:59 p.m. July 31st, 2020. The citizens of the city of East Cleveland are experiencing a civil emergency due to the need to mitigate the severity and duration of COVID-19 in our city. Proclamation. Number 4, now therefore, I, Brandon L. King, Mayor of the city of East Cleveland, under and by the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Ohio Constitution, the charter and laws of the city of East Cleveland, do hereby proclaim that a state of civil emergency exists within the city of East Cleveland, the outbreak of COVID-19, as well as violence and unrest. A, area affected by this proclamation. I hereby proclaim that the entire area within the municipal boundaries of the city of East Cleveland is covered by this proclamation.
B, law enforcement assistance. All regular and auxiliary law enforcement agencies and organizations within and without the city of East Cleveland are encouraged to assist in preserving the peace within the city of East Cleveland by coordinating activities with federal, state, and local officials. C, Civil Emergency Executive Policy Group. There is hereby established a Civil Emergency Executive Policy Group consisting of Chief of Staff Michael Smedley, Finance Director Charles Ayahan, Police Chief Scott Gardner, Fire Chief Michael Saliga, Human Resources Director Belinda Kyle, Law Director Willa Hemmons, Community Development Director Mel Rand Leach, and Service Supervisor Antonio Marshall to perform the following duties. 1, to oversee conditions during the existence of the civil emergency. 2, to make recommendations as to additional actions necessary to minimize the adverse impact of the civil emergency, including the issuance or amendment of city ordinances, rules, regulations, and procedures to alleviate or manage in an orderly manner the civil emergency. 3, to make recommendations to allow city property to be used to address the civil emergency, including the issuance of any permits, licenses, or leases, and the amendment of city ordinances, rules, regulations, and procedures regarding those permits, licenses, or leases. 4, to make recommendations to allow the director of a department to accept gifts, money, property, or services to address the civil emergency and to apply for and accept grants from various entities, both public and private, for the provision of services, the purchase of goods, or the reimbursement of expenditures made by the city to address the civil emergency. If the acceptance or application and acceptance is recommended, the director of the relevant department is authorized to file all papers and execute all documents necessary to receive the funds under the grant or gift, and upon acceptance of the grant or gift, the grant or gift may be used for the purpose set forth by the grantor or gift giver. Amended to include the following on July 7th, 2020. On July 2nd, Governor DeWine introduced a public health advisory system. This system is a 4-level color-coded system that identifies counties with high risk for coronavirus. Cuyahoga County, the city of East Cleveland, is physically located in Cuyahoga County, is designated as a level 3 out of 4 levels. The Ohio Department of Public Health did not distinguish cities from counties.
Therefore, effective July 7th, 2020, I am declaring the following. Number 1, strongly recommended masks for all individuals out in public or in public spaces, including business, restaurants, etc. Number 2, maximum capacity at any bar, restaurant, entertainment venue cannot exceed 50% of allowable capacity and must comply with social distancing standards. 3, any establishment that upon 2 incidents of violating maximum capacity order will be ordered to shut down. Number 4, mass gathering orders are still in effect. If incidents of more than 10 persons are gathered not wearing masks, enforcement actions will be taken. Number 5, If an establishment has an employee or a patron who has tested positive for COVID-19, then the establishment must be sanitized to the standards of the Cleveland Health Department. Failure to demonstrate such sanitation will result in the facility being shut down. Number 6, people should not gather during the holiday except within the social distancing and mass gathering mandates, and shall wear masks and wash their hands often. D, emergency purchases. Upon recommendation of the director of the appropriate department and the director of finance, and after justification and determination by them that the emergency need exists for the requested purchase, all purchasing and contracting requirements under East Cleveland codified ordinances and city rules, regulations, or procedures are temporarily suspended to allow for entering into contracts for the procurement of materials, supplies, equipment, construction, or services immediately necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the city of East Cleveland. E, payroll. All codified ordinances and/or regulatory provisions are suspended as necessary to allow for the continued ability of the city to meet payroll, process insurance benefits, and pay vendors during the time of the civil emergency. Per OBM, June 29th, 2020, for public safety, public health, healthcare, human services, and similar employees whose services are substantially dedicated, it is presumed for administrative convenience that personnel costs related to these areas are substantially dedicated. This includes East Cleveland Police, Fire, EMS, and Service. Similar employees are those who are substantially dedicated to the mitigation or response to the COVID-19 public health emergency by participation in city organized programs such as emergency food pantry, COVID testing, public education and information efforts, as well as PPE and mask distribution activities for at least 50% of their work time during the civil emergency. It is declared that the aforementioned personnel are thereby eligible for corresponding COVID-19 related payroll treatment.
In addition, the U.S. Department of Treasury FAQ's response noted that hazard pay would be eligible if otherwise determined to be a necessary expense. According to the U.S. Department of Treasury CRF June 24th, 2020 update, hazard pay means additional pay for performing hazardous duty or work involving physical hardship in each case that is related to COVID-19. Therefore, those employees who so qualify will be awarded hazard pay. E, duration of civil emergency. The state of civil emergency proclaimed pursuant to this proclamation shall terminate as stated above or upon the issuance of a proclamation by the mayor that a civil emergency no longer exists, whichever occurs first. I, Brandon L. King, Mayor of the City of East Cleveland, State of Ohio, affix my signature to this proclamation this 7th day of July 2020 at 5:00 p.m. and it is signed Brandon L. King, Mayor.
I am shocked.
Comment
that
now.
all that.
Can I make my comment now?
I would like to speak, Madam President, on this.
Keep your comments brief, please. Go ahead, Mr. Austin.
Great, yeah. So I have had the pleasure and or displeasure of actually being near a place where a tornado was taking place. And immediately after the tornado hit, it ripped the roof off a grocery store. And in cases of emergency, I mean, COVID-19 is not going to rip the roof off a grocery store, but these are those emergency precautions that are kept on a shelf. This language allows the administration to respond to a catastrophe on short or no notice. And what I would like to see is the activation of some of these issues and what those measures are to, how can I say, prevent overuse. But to have a document that says that these are the provisions, and there is a group of us that can get, well, respectfully, I'm not on that group, and I'm not in that group, but there is a group of persons that we thought forward enough to establish this emergency task force, almost like a tactical operations center. And for this city to have that, I applaud the administration for starting this. However, I would like to know what is the notice to the council in the event that these things had to be enacted? There is some danger in handing out food, going door to door in some of the high rises, dangerous to the person and dangerous to the person that's putting the box in front of the door. Most of it is no contact, but I can see where there is some opportunities. And this doesn't sound like language that was generated from the mayor. This sounds like language that was generated from
Look, Austin's right here.
blurb from somewhere.
This is what you want to see?
You don't have a.
Please mute your mic, please. So yeah, I don't really have a problem with the proclamation. I would like to see that there is a check and balance, and this is a proclamation that will probably be well served on a shelf. I mean, like, this is something that we have to activate, and if it's activated, at least give the council a call instead of these things are activated. But this is a safety precaution that's necessary, and it talked about having the businesses in our area encourage our residents to wear masks and observing social distancing in our businesses, or putting some teeth to the discussion, saying if you do this, there's going to be some repercussions. So more to follow, and I do think that this is necessary. However, I would like to see there's a notice to the council at some point, say that these things are going to be in place and it may have adverse effect on us. Although the CARES Act is the treasure trove that that's going to support these activities. I don't know if the council is, I guess, cognizant of that, but the CARES Act is covering these costs. It's not a liability or detriment to the city's budget because these items are covered under the CARES Act. So I would like to hear a response about how we get notified if these things have to go into effect, and something in place to prevent overuse, not killing to retract this information would basically make the administration unable to conduct daily business. I'm sure that's not the intent. So more to follow. Looking for your response. Thank you.
Madam President, can I speak?
Speak up.
Can I speak on the behalf of?
Ms. Gowdy, go ahead.
Yeah, I am very shocked of all this. You know, the mayor.
Speak up, Ms. Gowdy.
I said that I am definitely is in shock of all of this. It never came in front of council, for one thing, and for him to create his own law and suspend the law. I think that's disrespectful. And I feel like the mayor, this agenda that he wrote up should be expended. He really overstepped his boundaries this time. Boundaries in the past, but he really overstepped his boundaries this time. And this is an insult to our whole community. I will not vote for it.
Clerk.
Council President, I would love the opportunity.
Want a response? I
Yeah,
can't
please.
see. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Council President. Dear Council, if you would kindly think back or kindly go back to various council meetings this year, updates and agendas, I have provided all documentation to you on these proclamations, state of emergencies, and as I've always stated, since this pandemic started, I take my cues from Governor DeWine, our county exec, Armin Budish, is where I take my cues. So it rolls downhill when it comes from the federal government to the state government to the local county, then into the municipality. Many of you will remember the riots that took place here in Cleveland, particularly downtown Cleveland. A number of those stores remain closed. They will not come back. As Councilman Austin alluded to, and I understand he's a little more worldly traveled, a little more knowledgeable on different things. Yes, these documents need to be in place in case they are needed. And that's why they were Somebody wanna, I'm not sure. I hear some comedy going on or something. Okay, thank you. So as Councilman Austin alluded to, these documents need to be in place. And that is why the county executive put them in place. That is why our state governor put them in place. And that is why I followed suit. If you go back, they should be down in the council's office, right? And they should be on your videotapes. So to say that you don't have them is just materially incorrect. We know sometimes that documents get lost in the shuffle, you may misplace things, but council has all these documents. Unless there's any questions or concerns on that, that's my piece.
We have remarks. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, clerk.
We have remarks and requests of the public. 3-minute limit.
Good evening, once again. I'm Reverend Pamela M. Pinckney Butts.
Speak up a little bit.
Good evening again. I'm Reverend Pamela M. Pinckney Butts. I'm a 2020 United States of America presidential candidate in this election. And I heard a lot of things in this meeting this evening, I'm very concerned about. And one of the things, Council President, I've observed is that I see the two females in this council are not getting support and cooperation in drafting this legislation. I still see a lot of sexism taking place where the men are not working with you two women, and I hope that that will change immediately. The second thing is, one of the reasons I was coming here this evening is because the courts, not only in East Cleveland, but in other jurisdictions, the courts are making people homeless right now and evicting people during this pandemic, which the federal stay is in place, stating that people should not be evicted during this pandemic. And I am concerned about this, Council President, Mayor King, and all council members, because I would like to know when the law goes into effect and who it is for. Yeah. The third thing I'd like to bring to your attention is, as I stated previously, dialysis patients are being abused, neglected, and endangered in East Cleveland, as well as other areas of Cuyahoga County and the state of Ohio and the United States of America. They are being left outside in this pandemic from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. in the morning with no one seeing about them. And if we have an airborne pandemic that they claim has been initiated a week before the primary elections took place, then why are disabled people being left outdoors in this pandemic? Come on now. The fourth and final concern that I would like to bring to your attention is I would like to really know why a woman has so much clutter in the house in the city of East Cleveland that it is not being addressed. I contacted Mobile Crisis regarding this. No human being should live like that. And I believe it's a slap in the face of not only justice, but it's a slap in the face of a woman. Because we have come too far, worked too long, and have gone through too much to live like that. That is not acceptable. That is not to be tolerated. And I know I go into passionate preacher mode, but that is what's necessary at this time and in this season. And I do not like the blatant disregard that females still get from male leadership in the city of East Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, etc. I've been on the phone. I've written letters to the Board of Health regarding these matters. And I'd like to know why the Board of Health is not addressing extermination and why it is that secret things must take place. Mayor King, you're not God. And you don't have the authority to make decisions without the votes of the people and without the decisions of your co-workers. You have gotten way beside yourself. You're very arrogant, and you need to come down if you need to be removed and replaced, because you are putting people in danger. You are not approachable. You are not reachable. You are very arrogant, and you are costing not only the citizens of the city of East Cleveland, but you are costing lives that you need to be going into prayer about. And if you have some type of agenda to have a Muslim takeover of the city of East Cleveland,
I'm here today to tell you, it's not going to happen.
Thank you.
This is Omay.
Speak louder.
Thank you, Reverend Butts.
This Reverend Pinckney Butts, and I don't say that disrespectfully, Councilwoman. I use my dad's name and my mother's maiden name to reflect the fact that women do not have to give up everything to be in a relationship with me.
Okay. Thank you, Reverend Pinckney Butts.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that.
Mr. Mays?
Thank you. Council vote is yay and nay. Speak up. Would you be quiet and let me speak?
Speak up.
Speak up then.
The council vote is yay and nay. Secondly, extensions goes with the majority. If the majority is nay, it goes with the nay. If the majority is yay, it goes with the yay vote. So there's no extension in the law. It's either yay or nay. Secondly, this council, please do not make council a circus, a zoo. Please show some restraint and respect, and respect each other. There is norms that council must follow. When one is speaking, the others listen. You have time element. You have 5 minutes to speak or what have you. Then do not monopolize the council. There are other councils, and when they call for order of the day, that means everything ceases and go back to the agenda and follow the agenda. Number 3, no two councils shall meet with the mayor. That's constitute a meeting. Two constitute a meeting, even if they are outside or talking about city business. That constitute a meeting. You better read the charter. And that's the law. Because there's only 5 of you. 2 constitute a meeting. You're out discussing something about city business. That constitute a meeting. That's a violation of the law. Your law. Council, please respect each council. You address a council by Council Martin, Council Gowdy, Council Smith, Council Austin. And then if you're addressing the president, you said, Madam President. That's the way you address council, not making it showing that you totally untutored how to operate a meeting and conduct yourself in a meeting. And number 4, the department head shall come before council, shall or should come before council to discuss their matters. That's where council gets the information, what have you. You invite the council, if it's contracts and property, you invite the person that over the department head over that particular department and discuss the problem that they are encountering or whatever they need. That's what council is for. Council does the authorization. Council does the appropriation, and they set the budget for those departments, as well as the mayor and the court as well. Number 2, the last thing that was concerned here is concerning, I guess, the resolution. The resolution should have been discussed, and some council should have also the authority to appoint someone to that committee. And secondly, if there was going to be a proclamation, it should have, Mr. Mayor should have come to this council and the council put the proclamation in place in reference to that. The county government does not operate this city, nor does this state operate this city. We are a home rule city, and we make laws here. And we do not have to resort, and the only time we resort to the Ohio Revised Code if we are silent on something. So I hope you have heard me and understood me very well. So council, please, please restrain yourselves and respect each other. And now I will say this, in reference to the discussion that was had early on about the minutes and what have you. And the first, I think was the minutes, and discussing that there was a telephone conversation. I guess in voting here, that it did not take place. Because when I was there, the council spoke, yes, the Zoom went blank there for a moment because the clerk at that time, and please, I'll say again, do not you refer to the clerk of council. And put that in there. But anyway, the clerk at that time saying that she had to do some research. And I said, and I blurted out, I was out of order, but I blurted out, you do not have the authority. You are the clerk of council. The council, you work at the behest of the council. That is not your job to try to do some research as to how they have their meeting as well as going into reorganization. It is all council's business, nor does administration or anyone else. It's council's business. They have the authority to hire whomever they want, as well as the other branches of government. They do the hiring, and they have some say as to some branches of the government. It's in the charter, and that's the law director, finance director, etc. Those comes under the auspices of this council as well.
That's your time, Mr. Mays. That's your time.
I just want that say this, and I'll yield.
Mr. Mays, that's your time.
Madam Chairman, I sit up here and listen to you guys went on for 20 and 30 minutes talking about one issue. I need to say this to you in reference to this. If you're going to have meeting by Zoom, and if there was alleged that someone said that you was on the phone having a meeting or what have you, and that's not true. If you're going to have it on Zoom, there's no law in place saying that's legal, that's unlegal as well. You're supposed to be, the meeting's supposed to be conducted and you're taking care of city business. It must be open to the public. So I have spoken, and thank you for your attentive ear.
Thank you, Mr. Mays. Or any other public speaking?
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah, Justin.
Where is?
Anderson.
Oh, okay.
Justin Anderson, 14436 Terrace Road. I just wanted to address the council about a few issues that's going on with the legal department. If you all read Judge Gwynn's, he's a federal judge. His name is Judge Gwynn. He put out a ruling recently that said Willa Hemmons, the law director, or Willa Hemmons, did not get indemnification by the council in order to represent officers. Basically, what that's saying is that before a lawsuit is filed against someone, or before Willa goes, or Ms. Hemmons goes and represents someone on her own, she must get permission from the council saying the city gives her permission to file this lawsuit, to represent, and things like that. And the judge, he's a federal judge. His name is Judge Gwynn. He put out a ruling and said that Ms. Hemmons has not been getting indemnification by the council to represent people in court. I don't know if you all understand this or not, but that is a major problem. It's a major violation. And we have Heather McCullough and Willa Hemmons filing lawsuits against people without receiving permission from the council to do it. And the federal judge already said that they can't do that. This is a federal judge standing opinion about them not getting indemnification per our charter. Our charter says they must get permission by the council to file a lawsuit. Because what happened was, instead of the law department going and prosecuting these officers who had locked Arnold Black in a little tiny closet, they chose that we're going to defend the officers and say that these officers were stand-up guys and they were right and they did nothing wrong. And we got slapped with a $50 million lawsuit. So we must get that under control because we have an incompetent law department and they are losing cases by the millions. And that is not a personal insult. That is not a personal insult. Over 100 million, please, Ms. McCullough, over $100 million in lawsuits says it, not me. So I really ask that the president of this council, Ms. Stevenson, and I do something about that. Her going to represent people and losing all these cases.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Any other public comment?
Good evening, Council. Kelvin Irby, 14802 Elm Avenue, East Cleveland. I have a problem that needs to be addressed and per se by the mayor himself. The mayor himself has asked the residents to apologize to his staff when a statement was made. Mr. Mayor, let me be the first one to make an announcement to you or to this council so they understand. Devin Branch and I was appointed to a position.
Come on now.
And you and your staff locked us out of the courtroom, had Cardelli damn near arrest me, Michael Smedley with the slanderism. We were accused of burning down Joy Graham's house. We were accused of malicious intent. And you come here on this Zoom meeting and demand an apology for a statement which soon will be true. Will soon be true. One, we didn't set our house on fire. Your law director, Ms. Hemmons, put it in a paper, put it in a file, a legal government document, and wrote that we did things to her and we were locked out of our positions. So I'm gonna say this nicely. We were not paid and we won our case in court. We were not paid. Devin Branch and I were not paid for our positions that is owed to us legally. And to be insulted by those that are in your staff and they insult counsel as they're incompetent, they are not. To listen to the disrespect of how you handle business. Look at our city from Euclid, from one end to the next is blighted. There's nothing that you proved yourself worthy to this city for. And I'm happy that there are council members that are stepping up to do the position for the interest, rights, needs of the people. I'm so proud of them for what they do, because if it wasn't for those who looked at 4 or 5 years back to catch all this disrespect that is toward them, we would be better in this better situation if you'd have did business back then like it was supposed to be done today. To get caught is a shameful. Good evening, council.
Thank you, Mr. Irby. Any other public comment? Going once? Going twice? Clerk, can we move on?
We have response of council and the mayor to remarks of the public.
Thank you. Is the mayor still here? Is he gone? I think he's gone. Councilor Gowdy?
Yes, before I get to Larry McDonald's, I do want to make some comments on what we heard today. Irby, you are 100% right. The mayor appointed 2 people to office and he was wrong by doing it. And you do need to be paid for that because he broke the charter law. And for him to be acting like he the saint of the day, he really not, you know. And it's a personal thing when you have a meeting and knowing that I chair property and contracts, it didn't even include me. That's another, you know, disrespectful, you know. And it's sad to say that you're going to have to face council, the whole council, and face me if you want something passed. You just can't do what you feel like you want to do. And with Heather and Willa being in the position that they are in, costing us money, you know. And then when I came in here last week, and Reverend Pete Lee Butts, and I'm hoping that I'm saying your name, and I honor you from being in the house today, because this is what we've been going through throughout the years since, you know, this administration became administration. It's always cowboys and Indians, you know, even with the cars that don't have insurance on it. They're tearing up our cars. The police officers is actually tearing up our cars, causing our lawsuits. And Heather and Willa is causing us to lose a lot of money in our city also. So when I came in here last week, eviction court was so loaded in here, you would think that a sardine can could even beat what I see in here. You know, it was packer than a sardine can, all out there in the hallways, everything. And it wasn't no social distance at all. And to have eviction court at a time like this, something is wrong with the people's mind. Because people need shelters. A lot of people losing their jobs. A lot of people losing their homes. And now they homeless. And now if they homeless and start going into other, like in other people have behavior problems. And if you don't have nobody coaching these people and directing them in the right direction, it's going to be a crime be made. Because now they're looking for a home, and the abandoned buildings is going to be homes, and they can hurt themselves. And I really wanted to go into an executive session because Larry McDonald is causing our city chaos. Every time we turn around, it's always something about Larry McDonald. I had sent a request for a video, and I haven't got the request yet. No response. We need to go into executive session to discuss his behavior. And he already has been demoted. Already has been demoted. This on file, because a lot of times Larry McDonald's been getting away with a lot of things, and people is not speaking out on it. And a lot of people is not coming forth. And when the people in jail have a problem with it, and people have a problem with it, then I have a problem with it. So demote. And he, the city calls us a lawsuit, and that's bottom line. We definitely need to discuss his behavior. His behavior needs to be. Because he did something really bad. And that's my,
are you done? Have you concluded?
Yes, and far as, and the last thing, far as the mayor proclamation that he claimed that he wanted to be on top of the hill. This is disrespectful for our whole city. And we have advisory board. Chevelle Harp is on the city advisory board, and a lot of all his friends is too. And it's like he got a lot of people that he's backing up, but he's not really backing the right direction where we need to go. Because a lot of times when we have people that we favor to, ain't nothing gonna get done because you're trying to be their friends and not taking care of business. And it's time out trying to be people friends. It's time to run this city the way it should be ran and not trying to be everybody's friend and giving them opportunities of making money without coming before council. Thank you, Madam President. That is my report.
Nate Martin.
President, are you ready for the humble Councilman Nathaniel Martin?
No.
First of all, I want to thank Victoria Deneau. I think she's doing real well. And welcome our new deputy clerk, Tracy Udria Peters.
Thank you, Tracy.
We welcome her. She has a lot of knowledge, and I see them working well as a team. I want to start on a positive. The Shaw Cardinals football team for East Cleveland and our East Cleveland school system, they're in the playoffs, and they beat a team a few days ago, 36-0. And they've gone further in the playoff now than they have in many, many years. So I want to acknowledge that. I also want to bring to attention what you heard tonight, Women in Transition Program. Well, the money, the $340,000 I've been speaking for the last, 8 or 9 years. I bring it up every budget hearing. It's finally in action. And what that's is $340,000 through Tri-C will be managing with the program to get single mothers work. It goes all the way back to Anwar and Wallace Davis, all the way back to 1990. And the money was locked in. It can only be spent to train women for good, decent jobs. So I hope that we move on that. The other thing is the rental assistance program. I've been seeing flyers over the last month or two for rental assistance. And I heard it discussed tonight about the court being packed with people who can't pay their rent. So I hope that they know who to call up here, because there is money to help them with the rental assistance. How much is left, how it's been spent, we don't know. We need to find that out. I also want to acknowledge NOAA. NOAA does good things for the most part. Matter of fact, I think about 3 weeks ago, maybe less than a month ago, they had a movie night up at Patterson Park. I was there for a little while. I couldn't stay for the whole thing, but that's some progressive things that we're doing. We need to utilize our park. I tried to have a meeting. This is maybe a negative. I tried to have a meeting last Wednesday, and we weren't able to have the meeting. The meeting was see if we can reach common ground in terms of what do we agree on? What can we do to move forward? Well, the meeting never took place, and I was told that certain council people didn't want to participate. Well, whenever we're in a situation where we can't sit down and see where we agree, because we're always going to agree and disagree, that's just the nature of this situation. That's not real good. It's not real good for the people. I appreciate the comments that former Councilman Omaze made. He's right on point. He's right on point. Okay, we have to work together. We have to be accountable. We have to read. We have to be on top of this. Certain people are complaining about how the meetings are being run. So I would say let's have a little more decorum and a little more respect for each other in what we say. Sometimes it's wise to just hold your tongue. But we have a responsibility to be on top of this. Council President, I know you're going to be scheduling the budget hearings, and some of the departments are very small. We could actually get it all done in a week. So we need to get that done, and the mayor has a responsibility to give you his estimate. So let's work together. There's some unreadiness, but that comes with these kind of bodies. But stay positive, and God help us all. I have spoken. Thank you.
Counselor Austin?
Greetings, Madam President. Thank you. There has been some hearty discussion today. I respect that discussion. There are some opportunities for us to, continue to learn and grow. And I'm looking forward to those opportunities materializing. There was some concern about the condition of the city, and we all play a role in how our city is positioned right now and what condition it's in. If you don't like what you see when you look out your front door, do something about it. Whether you grab a trash bag or trash can or get a couple of neighbors together and start cleaning up. We are the best advocates for our city, and we have the potential to take action. I do support having a plan in place in the event some catastrophic happen or some protesters come to East Cleveland and go beyond the Villa shoe store to take advantage of, the situation that we're in. So how do we get beyond, the talking phase and get into the action phase? Kind of going back to the basics and looking at what committees we're responsible for and doing things within those committees to make it better for the residents that put us in these positions. I think that we have the opportunity to truly refocus as a council what's important and focus on the issues and solutions to those concerns for our residents and kind of get off the people perspective. Let's focus on attacking each other and more focus on solutions that will make it better for our city. I do appreciate the fact that everybody said we need more cooperation and, kind of treat each other with more respect. And I will take that to heart, and I will do my level best to make sure that I don't, step out of line, but I still have to make sure that the information, as I understand it, and the facts prevail, not the perspective of, certain individuals or the way you want it to be. We have to kind of have a perspective on addressing what is and what will make a solution and or things for our residents better. And I did hear somebody say something about NOAA being on that emergency committee. I didn't hear the mayor said NOAA was on that committee at all. NOAA is a community-based organization, and they do things for the community with the community at heart, and they are a group of residents, and that's what they are. So if there's a problem with the residents of the city, then it's probably a problem with NOAA, because that's who those folks are. They're actually residents of this great city, for the most part. So again, I do appreciate the opinions that I heard about today. But I know that we got some work to do, and I ask that you focus on the work for the people and not focus on attacking each other at every turn. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Counselor Smith?
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank each and every resident that took the time out to join this very unique meeting in these very unique times. And what I mean by unique meeting, I'm referring to the Zoom, because I know some of us are not used to getting on the Zoom. So I thank you, because it's much more work to get on the Zoom if you not accustomed to getting on the Zoom than it is if we just had the council chambers open for everyone. So I really thank all the residents for your caring and love of what's going on in the city. I want to thank everyone that has been supporting my Camp Out Against Violence on the corner of Scioto and Hayden Avenue. It's been a very positive action. You go ask the residents who reside on Scioto, they say when we are out there, they are able to sleep The gunshots out there have calmed down. We talk to the youngsters, we talk to the people, and we hang out all night. So I just want to thank everyone who been bringing their grills for heat, dropping off coffee, waters, food, dropping off blankets so we could wrap ourselves up if we get cold. And just thank you for that support. Want to thank everyone who supported our community give back last Saturday on Shaw in the parking lot of Chambers. Want to thank Children at Play for your sponsorship. Angela Mia, Two Fly Mobile, Gustos, Peter Pitt, and a few more sponsors that came together. The Black League of Women Voters came down. 3 bouncy houses, 2 Fly Mobile, game truck, voter information, characters, Spider-Man and Paw Patrol. Just a great community event to get to know our neighbors a little bit better and just to have a little fun through these dark times and situations. So we'll be doing more of that. Of course, we were well aware, kept in mind about the pandemic, and everyone had masks on and social distance, and it was very nice. So very nice. In closing, I just want to read from Madam President Corinne Stevenson words herself. I know she said that on September 1st it was a call to suspend Rule 9. That's not on these minutes. The first line says meeting was called to order at 6:35 p.m. by President Smith, Councilor Gowdy as recognized by President Smith. Then I just want to acknowledge as you scroll down a little bit, because I understand that one of our senior residents, saying what he didn't see, respectfully, that doesn't matter. This comes from Madam President herself. It says, Councilor Martin moved that Juanita Gowdy be Vice President. Second, the clerk lost control of the computer and was not reachable for approximately 20 minutes, at which time councilors resorted to their telephones to continue the meeting, wherein the vote for Ms. Gowdy to become Vice President carried. In the absence of the clerk, the new council president assigned committee. All I'm asking for is to allow me, all I'm asking for is to allow myself to give Juanita Gowdy the floor and do it correctly. Other than that, I can't go for this. It says this is from Madam President's words herself. Tonight she tried to act like she didn't know that this was on here, but that's fine because I have plenty of copies right here. And it just plainly says that the meeting was done on the telephone. That comes from you all's words. On behalf of the people, just ask that it's done correctly. Just slow down, do it correctly. You have ambitions. Just do it correctly. Other than that, I would recognize this as a coup d'etat, a takeover. Yeah, it's not funny. It's funny now. Self-motivation, self-greed, and all of the above. So I thank you and look forward to hearing from the people.
Thank you, Councilor Smith. So that brings us to me, huh? I don't have a lot to say today. Pretty much, my concerns are what has not occurred. There are a lot of things that have not occurred with regard to the council's position in the city. And there's some things that need to be shored up. Pretty much that's what I'm focusing on, those things that have not occurred. I would like to address the council's attention to the fact that when we get in these meetings, we have a lot of discussion. When we had quite a bit of discussion tonight. It is 9:15 almost, and this meeting started at 6:30. So I would ask that the council, I hope you all got everything out tonight so that when we come back next Tuesday to the regular council meeting, that we can move the meeting and the agenda in less than 3 hours. I mean, that's a long meeting, and especially for all the items to be a first read. The other thing I would like to ask you all to do is social distance. To keep in mind, we have 2 staff in the office now, so there's not a lot of room in there for the council to be in there. And please adhere to the social distancing where there is 1 person allowed in the council office at a time, because there are 2 staff people in there. And we need to keep them safe. We're having some growing pains with regard to our agenda. We have new staff, and I'm sure as we progress and everybody gets the proper training, that we'll do a better job. But we have to get there. Rome wasn't built in a day. With that said, I don't have anything else.
Madam Chairman.
I do.
Who is I?
Oh, I wanted to answer Ms. Pinckney Butts with regard to the racism, the public racism question that she had. Pretty much what's going to happen with this is that we're going to see the committee. And I think we're going to start at the very beginning of kinds of things when we start to facilitate this process and actually looking at what racism means for East Cleveland. What does it mean to East Cleveland, and how East Clevelanders view it? Even though we are 98% African-American city, racism is still pervasive in our city and a lot of the decisions that are made. So that was the one question that I wanted to answer for her. The other question with regard to 3820, the mayor is responsible for day-to-day operations, and 3820, as well as any other number of these items, come under the mayor's jurisdiction. The council can legislate, but the mayor has to implement them. And I think that's it.
Madam President, wait, hold on 1 second.
If you need me to help you with the racial disparity, I will be glad to make myself available. And would you please?
I can't hear you, ma'am.
I said, if you need me to address the racial and sexist disparity that's taking place in this city, Councilwoman Gowdy knows how to find me and reach me. It is very serious and people are losing their lives over it. And if you would please, Council President, address the abuse and neglect of these people coming through this court, becoming homeless during this pandemic, and the abuse, neglect, and endangerment of these disabled people through the dialysis center. I really would appreciate it. Thank you.
Can I address a few things?
Mr. Martin, you got 1 minute.
Real quick, I just wanted to say that it's been months since we've been in the courtroom. I forgot to say, we're in the courtroom today. We're spaced out. We have 3 monitors that we can see real well, and the audio is great. I wanted to thank us for being here. Okay, we could get 7 or 8 people in here real easy, more than 6 feet apart. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, Madam President. Thank you very much.
Mr. Martin, Martin, be cognitive of the fact that the mayor has stated that the city hall is still closed, and from what I understand, will remain closed until January of next year.
Well, that's okay. The courtroom is being used. I don't know what it means by closed. I was up here a couple of days.
Closed to the public, Mr. Martin. Closed to the public, Mr. Martin.
The mayor got his, I moved.
Closed to the public.
Okay.
Okay.
Second that. So what you saying is the court is closed too? I'm asking a question.
No. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is the building itself is closed to the public. That's what he said. That's what he said.
Okay, I'm not arguing this. That's what he said. That's what he said.
I
Okay.
move that the meeting will be adjourned.
And I second the motion.
The assistant law director did have a couple of points to make to address.
Hold
to
on,
Ms.
you guys. Somebody else wants to talk.
Yes,
Hold on a minute. Go ahead, Heather.
Okay, first point, to address a couple of things that Ms. Pinckney Butts brought up. As it refers to, I believe she brought up a particular property and a hoarding situation, just so she's aware and anybody else that's concerned about it. Yes. I had inquired myself concerning that property and the potential of doing something about the situation. And I was informed that due to COVID-19 concerns, the city is not allowed to just come in and do an inspection. So nothing can be done right now to address the situation short of the lady herself allowing an inspection to occur. The city cannot just come in and inspect. Next point on the evictions, next point on when it comes to evictions, because that was brought up on multiple occasions, just so we're clear, there is no outright ban on evictions taking place unless it's government subsidized property. Other evictions can take place and are taking place, not just in East Cleveland, but in other cities as well. If residents are having concerns about an eviction, they should seek legal counsel because there are perhaps things that they can do about their situation, but there is no ban. Further, when it comes to my oath of office, if the council clerk does not have a copy, I do have a copy. The council has seen it, but if the council clerk does not have a copy, I would be happy to provide one for her. Next point. When it comes to the losses, let's be clear that that is a completely inaccurate statement made by Councilor Gowdy. She is free to look up any cases that I was lead counsel on and see how many cases I have lost and how much it has cost the city. And be aware that a couple of the cases have been inherited by this law department and by this administration. And so in particular, the Black case, certain problems happened and certain mistakes occurred prior to this administration and Ms. Hemmons even taking the case on forward. So she should look into that.
You could have settled it.
As for her public records request, we only received that request this morning. So she was not going to get all of that information in a day. That's not going to happen. We are in receipt of her request. We are looking into her request as we speak. I have received some information. However, it is not one video. It is more than one. I received that towards the end of the day. So I am still reviewing all of those materials. And when I am sure of what information it is appropriate to disseminate to the council or to Ms. Gowdy, I will, because some of that information may not pertain to what she is actually looking for. And as she is aware, when it comes to records, personnel files, disciplinary records, those have to be copied and redacted first to make sure that no inappropriate information is being disseminated. So to make sure that we are doing our due diligence and that mistakes are not being made, that request was not going to be made in a day. And I did attempt to respond to your request, but for some reason, the email kicked back to me. So I wanted to put it out to you today that your records request is in the works. And I'm done.
I want to say, first of all, my name is Reverend Pinckney Butts. And
Reverend Butts. Reverend Butts. You don't have we allowed you to respond twice already.
Excuse me,
Reverend Butts.
my relationship status is not your business. My
Reverend
personal
Butts.
life is not your business.
We allowed you to respond once already. Can we finish the meeting?
Thing is in
I don't know what she,
Don't we have a motion on the floor to adjourn?
yeah, no.
Yeah,
We
no.
don't have a motion to adjourn because they moved the motion too quickly.
No, where are they
Can
going?
we have a motion to adjourn now?
I'll move that the meeting be adjourned.
Second.
See about those people's lives.
The East Cleveland City Council meeting is now adjourned. The time is 9:27.
Don't ever put your hands on me again to talk to me.
Thank you all for coming.
Heather ain't